Hey everybody, it's Dakota. Welcome to another class. Today is all about just warming up for, people doing Jiu Jitsu, wrestling, just grappling in general. The shoulders, the hips, the wrists, the neck, hitting the main areas in the quickest amount of time. That's the goal of this video. So this is pretty much the warm up I like to do before I roll. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and hop into tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Just 2 rounds of cat-cow here. So inhale, let's drop the belly button and reach the chin up. Open up the front body, and as you exhale, curl and round. Wonderful, just one more of those. Inhale, open the front body, flex the back a little bit, pull the heart forward. Exhale, curl and round. Really broaden the back, push the mat away. Wonderful, same thing, but we're gonna rotate the hands. So rotate the fingers to where they're pointing towards your knees. And usually if you're on a yoga mat, your thumbs would be on the outside of the mat, so your hands are pretty wide here, so your chest stays open. We're just going to do the same thing, 2 more rounds. Inhale, drop the belly button, reach the chin up. Feel nice stretch in the hands now. And exhale, push and reach up with the back. One more, so you can feel how demanding it is for the wrist. If you need to change your hand positioning, that might help sometimes. And curl and round as you exhale. Wonderful. From here, keep your hands where they are, if that's okay. Just go side to side a couple times. Just gazing at the side hip, giving a little fishtail in the back. Opening up the side bodies a little bit while you're stretching the wrists. Wonderful. Come to a neutral spine, rotate the hands back to normal. Feeling good now. Wonderful. Now we're just going to point our fingers to the outer edges of the mat, like so. We're just going to do circles here. So circles all the way around our hands. Give a little rotation to the hips as well. A little lubrication. And switch directions, finding a couple circles either direction. Just feeling your hands active, so pressing against your fingers. I like to always make an active stretch, not just a passive stretch. Wonderful. Go ahead and bring your hands all the way close to one another to where the forearms touching one another. Just rocking left and right. Really pressing through the knuckles of the hands here. So it's one of the best ways to really warm up your wrists, get your wrists warm, as well as your fingers. And we know how demanding especially when you're rolling with gis on in Jiu Jitsu, how demanding your fingers need, or how demanding it is on your fingers, sorry. So a couple more rocks left and right. Awesome, go ahead and shake out the hands. Bring the hands down and lift up the hips. We're gonna come into a down dog. Just pedal it out for a moment. Just pedaling out the feet, maybe giving the shoulders a little shake and giving the head a little shake, yes and no. Wonderful. We're going to inhale, reach this right foot up to the ceiling, 3-legged down dog. As you exhale, we're going to bend this knee and roll the hip open here. So feel this right side of the body open up, and from here, we're going to lubricate the hips really nicely. So do big circles with the knees, maybe 2 or 3 circles going both directions. Feeling that SI joint really open up for you. And again, these aren't just passive movements, these are active movements, you might notice. So really helping the mobility. Not just your flexibility. Wonderful. After that last circle, inhale, straighten it all the way back out. And exhale, step this foot down in between the hands. And we're going to drop this left knee down. So we're just going to come into a knelt lunge here. So your hands are on the ground. We're going to reach this right hand up. Keep the left hand where it is. So we're in a little twist here. Maybe you open up deep here, add a little twist to the spine here. That feels good. Oh, it feels wonderful. Find one more inhale, maybe rolling up the wrists here if you want. Just adding a little bit of movement. Wonderful. Exhale, right hand comes back down to the ground. From here, inhale, pull the chest up to the front of the room. As you exhale, straighten out the right leg. Forward fold. 2 more of those. Inhale, pull the chest forward, open the hips. Exhale, forward, forward. Wonderful. Inhale, open up. Exhale, send it back. Just getting the hips lubricated. As you inhale, we're going to come up. Stay here this time. Left hand to the ground. We're going to gaze over this right shoulder. If it's okay with you, bend this left knee and grab the foot. If it's not okay, maybe you have a band you can grab. Or maybe you just try to come up a little bit. One more breath here. And slowly exhale, come back down into your down dog. As you inhale, reach the left foot up this time. We're going to switch sides. As you exhale, bend the knee, roll the hip open here. First, reaching into that left side of the body, getting long. And then when you're good, 3 circles with that left knee, both directions. Just feeling this hip lubricate here. So the goal of this flow is really just to lubricate the main joints of the body, the hips and the shoulders, the ones we use a lot when we're grappling, and then our wrists and our neck. We're going to touch on our neck in just a moment. We're almost finished with the hips. So inhale, straighten that left leg back out. Exhale, step that foot down in between the hands. Drop this right knee. We're just inhaling, reaching this left hand up this time. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you exhale, open up deeper. Reach through the chest. Add a little twist to the spine, just wringing out some tension. Maybe rolling around this left wrist a little bit. One more inhale. As you exhale, left hand comes back down to the ground. Wonderful. Inhale, open up the heart here. Pull the hips forward too. Exhale, straighten out that left leg. Forward fold. 2 more. Inhale, reaching forward the chest. Exhale, send it back, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. Noticing the difference already in the hips. Inhale, come up. This time we're going to stay here, looking over the left shoulder again, bending at that right knee if your body allows it. We just hold here and we breathe. Feeling good, letting that right hip still drop down as you add the stretch to the quad. It can get pretty intense though. So on your next exhale, letting go slowly, left hand comes to the ground, come back into your down dog. Pedal it out here. Hips feeling much better. Maybe here when you're in your second down dog, you can get a little straighter through the spine, dropping the belly button just a little bit more. Getting rid of the curvature in the low back. Wonderful. From here, gaze forward, jumper step to the top of the mat. And let's inhale, halfway lift. And we're going to exhale, fold forward here, interlock the hands behind the back, squeeze the elbows together, roll the shoulders back. And maybe you can let the hands go more towards the front of the room. Over top the head, let the head get deeper here. Find a couple breaths. Nice deep forward fold, good stretch for the hamstrings as well as the front delts of the shoulders, letting the hands get heavy as they fall over top. 1 more breath. Wonderful. Slowly coming out of this, we're going to bring the hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, heel toe the feet a little bit wider than your mat. And then we're going to sit down into a full yogi squat. Like so. Just going to put my toboggan back on. Oh, my hair is so close to being able to pull it up. I'm in that awkward stage. So bring the chest up here. Bring hands to heart center. If this is too much, some people have to come up onto the toes. That's fine. Just whatever your body lets you do. Find where you're comfortable. If you're able to, give a little pressure in the inside knees, just a little bit. Pull the chest up. Engage the spine to where your spine's erect and it's nice and straight from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And we're breathing here. You can stay here. This is pretty intense. If you want to add a little bit of juice, a little bit of spice to it, we'll add some twists. So exhale, left hand comes underneath that left knee. And then we're going to inhale, reach this right hand up. Maybe pause here. Maybe take your bind. We're going to hold here for 1 breath. Same stretch for the hips, the inner groins, and now we're adding a little twist to the spine, opening to the shoulder and the right side of the chest. Wonderful. Slowly coming back if you got the bind, if you made the twist. And we're going to switch sides. Exhale, right hand comes underneath the right knee. Inhale, left hand comes up high. Open to the chest. Maybe take your bind. 1 full round of breath here, wherever you're at. Either or, your hips are nice and get nice and open because this is an active hip opening stretch. That's why I like it. Your feet are pulling. And slowly come back to the front. Wonderful. We're just going to lie down onto our back. So go ahead and take your time, roll down your back and hug your knees into your heart. Maybe give it a little rock left and right. You know, give a little shake to the knees. I know. Those of you out there throwing in some triangles, pop one in real quick. You need your knees to be nice and lubricated. Huge deal. Awesome. So once you do any of that little shaking out, we're going to come into a shoulder stand. So before you come into this, I want you to keep your gaze up to the ceiling. Don't look left or right. So make sure once we get into this, you're just listening to my voice and you keep your gaze straight up towards the ceiling to protect your neck. So go ahead and wiggle left and right so you can squeeze the elbows underneath the body. And we're gonna lift the hips all the way up, coming into our shoulder stand. If this isn't your first time, maybe this is sort of elementary. Maybe not, maybe this is your first time. So you really need to keep the gaze forward, keep the breath still, protect the neck, and just explore this posture. And if you've been here before, you obviously know how the mannequin is on the neck, so you can explore a little bit more freedom here since your body is a little more comfortable. Maybe take it to where you don't need your elbows at all, and you lift your elbows off the ground and just balance on the shoulders and head. So I know some of you wrestlers are like, okay, this is new. Maybe you try it for a breath. Just the activation of the neck, the balance here alone gives you a nice stretch in the back of the head, back of the neck, upper back area. So wherever you're at, we're gonna slowly come into a fold here, a plow pose, folding at the hips, let the legs come over top, toenail sides of the feet are on the ground, keeping the back straight, lifting the hips up here, one breath. And from here, if you'd like to, you can bend at the knees, maybe massage the temples out a little bit, maybe just rocking left and right here. So this is somewhere you've been a lot. You can explore here. This feels good. So anyone rolling really knows how much you're going to be stacked up on top of your head. So just transitioning into this little stretch is fun. Finding your last breath or two, maybe squeezing it in. See if your knees can reach the ground, maybe. It gets pretty intense. We're going to slowly come out. This last part is optional. Just bring the hands underneath the butt, opening up the chest so your elbows drive through the ground. Open the chest up to the ceiling and drop the crown of the head on the ground. We're just going to find a couple breaths here. This is just a great pose to open up the front body and the throat after a nice shoulder stand. And you can slowly make your way out of this pose at your own pace. And as always, you can add anything else you want into this routine. This is just a little simple routine to get into the hips and the shoulders and play around with the wrists and neck as well, because that seems to be most people's sore spots. I know it's this guy. So I hope all of your rolling is going good. All your, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, everything's going good for everybody in these times. Can't wait to flow with you again. Hope this helped your warm-up routine. Till next time, namaste.